Welcome again. It's good to see everybody after a few years of not seeing anybody. There were several other ones, I think, when I stepped through the door. We forgot to tell them that we were going to have a meeting afterwards, I suppose. Maybe if we would draw the gifts, maybe that would help to keep them around, you think? Maybe that's what we should do. Tell them on Monday that's what we did. No, we won't do that. There's a kind of an alarming sign on this podium right here. It says, "Do not lean on podium. Wheels will allow you to roll." So if I end up out there, somebody come up and help me back up here. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Thank everybody for coming. Thank you, John, and all your staff for getting all this together. It's always a pleasure to be in the air conditioning during these times, especially this summer. At this time, I've asked David Trogdon to come up and do the invocation.
If you would bow with me and let's praise the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this day. And we thank you for this co-op and for the 86 years that we've had to supply our members with adequate power. And we just thank you so much for your blessings. I know we've been through some rough times over those years, and you've always provided us with employees and directors and managers that's managed to use their expertise to keep this cooperative in outstanding shape. And I hope we continue to do that. I pray that you'll continue to bless the co-op in that respect. And Lord, I know our country's in a mess right now, and we just depend so much on you to give us direction and wisdom and the decisions that we make. And we're just asking you today to do that. And in case you haven't heard, we need some rain. And I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, David. Now the next thing on, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. Claire Johnson, one of our youth tour delegates, is going to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody would stand up with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the Marks family is going to come up and lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Let's give that whole family another round of applause for the job they did this afternoon. Sean, are you ready? We're going to get your reports.
First, we need to approve the agenda. The agenda was mailed out with the notice of meeting in July. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? And a second? All in favor? Any opposed? The agenda is approved. 297 members are required to be registered and present to conduct business and to establish a quorum. As of 11:08 this morning, we had over 300 already registered, so we do have a quorum established. As I mentioned, the notice of the meeting was mailed out July 6th in the Rural Missouri Magazine. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to waive the reading of the notice and proof of mailing. Do I have that motion? And a second? All in favor? Any opposed? We will waive the reading. And at this time, I guess Ron is going to come up and give his report.
Hello, I'm Ron Crichton, Board Secretary and Treasurer. In the July issue, Rural Missouri, it was published for the minutes of last meeting last year and also the Treasurer's report. At this time, I would take a motion from the floor, dispense with the reading of the minutes. Do I hear a motion? Second? All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Also, at that July issue, the Treasurer's report was posted, and at this time, I would take a motion to dispense with the reading of my dad is 93. He said that if he came, he was going to make me do this, read it, and so I'm glad he's not here. So, but all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Whipping right through this thing down to the reports, and this is the part that I just love. I just love getting in front of a bunch of people and talking about stuff that I know you want to hear about. It's going to be brief, and we haven't been together in a few years, so I decided to try to summarize what's going on here at the co-op, and I'm going to start out by doing it with a few numbers that I've taken from our financials. I know in our board meeting, our engineer, he'll come up with a bunch of numbers, and it always goes over good. So that's what I'm going to start out with too. Back in December of 2019, the numbers that I'm gonna give you are our total utility plant that we have in service. That's our substation, transformers, poles, everything. We were a little over $185 million in our total plant in service. At the end of December this year, or in 21, it was up to 196 million, or almost 197. And then as of now, it's up over 200 million that we have in total service and plant. The number of miles of line that we have were 4,800 back at the end of 19. And now as of June of 22, we're at 4,800, almost 4,900. Number of meters grew from 36,000 up to a little over 37,000. So I tell you those numbers to let you know that we didn't get to shut down during the pandemic of the last 2 years. These guys have continued to work and have done a great job providing the power source that we all enjoy today. So right now, I just want to take and give you guys a hand. And then the second thing that I want to make a point about is that I don't know about in your lives, but in my life, everything that I've done in the past 2 years has cost me more money, whether it's my groceries for me or my feed for the cows or for my just whatever you want, building materials. And it's no different than with these guys. The stuff that they've used to put this thing together costs more money today than it did before. The only thing, or one of the only things, I guess, that I'm sure that hasn't gone up is at the end of 19, your kilowatt hour cost was about 9.7 cents, and today it's the same thing. It's the 9.7 cents. They've been able to hold it to try to give you a break on something, I guess, or give me a break. Maybe that's what they were doing. But I guess we can thank, I know we can thank the three-tiered system. Associated, this is high on their mind, KMO, and Patrick and his team. And they've all done a great job managing the finances to be able to provide you with affordable power. Let's give them another hand for that, too. And the third thing that I want to say is that in today's environment, there's a lot of there's just a lot of challenges out there to run any business, but especially one born in politics, born in the government, as the co-ops were. If you go throughout the state or the nation and you look at mission statements from about any co-op, they're going to include the affordable, reliable, and safe power. But in today's age, that alone doesn't do it anymore. The things that we have to extend our business models into don't only include those three, but if you think about all the environmental issues that we have to deal with, or they have to deal with, the climate resilience issues that we have today, technology innovations to make everything work, everybody's under more of a governing scrutiny with all the social media apps or platforms that are out there that we have to deal with, or that are just out there. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it is good to be diligent in all these areas. And then we have to be able to expand new services to our members. The younger people as they come up aren't satisfied with the way things have always been. And that's not a bad thing either, but it's something that we've had to learn that we're going to have to adapt to. And we are really doing it. I have extreme faith in Patrick and his team, and really with this whole board of directors, that we're going to do everything we can to keep the lights on and do it as the most responsible way we can. Now with that, that's all I have written down. So I just want to thank you for coming. Thank you for the support of this co-op. Really appreciate it. Patrick, are you ready for yours? Thanks, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your patronage of Ozark Electric. You saw the video, and Grayson, where's Grayson? There's Grayson. Grayson made the video. Good-looking guy, this guy. But I have an issue with you. You didn't show me and how I work at my desk and stuff and lift my coffee mug to my. I know the linemen are really popular guys. I know they do the compelling and sexy work and the buckets and all that stuff. So I get it. But, I mean, come on, one? Just one? All right, okay. So anyway, I'm here to talk to you about, I was thinking about, what am I going to talk about? Am I going to get a cooperative principal and talk to you about it? When I run into you guys in your driveways or around town or at the office, you don't come up and say, hey, let's talk about cooperative principle number 4, Patrick. That would be really compelling. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to talk to you about is that when I run into you guys, you ask me this. What's the number one question that you ask me? Be strong, be bold. I bet you know it. Are my rates going up? That's usually number 1. Number 2 is there enough power to go around? Are we going to have blackouts? Do any of you wonder about that? You do? Okay, so we're going to address that a little bit. Now listen, do you have a timer? Can you throw something at me here if I get really wound up and tell me to be quiet because I get really excited about this stuff? Okay, so you know we don't make electricity, right? Ozark Electric. We purchase it and we bring it onto the system and then we deliver it to your homes. And so my job, with the assistance of the directors and our staff, is to just continue to make that happen. Buy affordable electricity, get it onto the system, make it reliable by investing in the infrastructure and making sure that our guys have the equipment to take care of it for you, and keep it safe by making sure that stuff is up to date and reliable for you to have the service, right? So that's a lot of what encompasses what I do for you. And I would tell you this. I'm telling you this to give you a big head. I want you to walk out of here very proud, and rankings mean stuff. Now, there's 40 electric co-ops in the state of Missouri. Do any of you happen to know, where we might rank in that? Do you think we're in the bottom third, the middle third, the top third? Pearl sitting to my left, you're right, and she said 5, and she's right. In a lot of the things that we measure out for the state, we can fall into sometimes we're a 3, sometimes we're a 4, sometimes we're a 5. So listen, when you meet somebody at the Spit and Whittle Club, and you guys are talking about your co-ops, you tell them that you're on Ozark Electric, and we rank very high in the state. And part of that is because of your participation on our system and your support to put qualified directors on this board to represent you to make decisions on behalf of the co-op. So you're doing extremely well, because I don't forget for a second that this is your co-op. I try to get out and visit as much as I can. These guys are very active and plugged into their communities. And when we meet monthly, we hear about what is pressing and what is at issue in your lives. And if the co-op can do something about it to ease your path, then we're going to do that. Steve told you that, we've had flat rate movement for several years. When was the last one? 2018? 2018 was the last rate increase that we had. So the other part of the challenge that we all band together on your behalf and tackle is, how can we tackle some of these escalating, my wife is here and she probably just tell me to put my hands in my pocket and stop waving them around. It's probably a good idea. I'm a hand talker. And so we talk about what are some of the things that we can do financially to absorb some of these rising costs that Steve was talking about just a few minutes ago, and continue to try and give you a terrific product that is affordable and extremely competitive within our region. And we've been able to do that. I talk to you from time to time on my Facebook post and that video. If you haven't seen it, you haven't missed much. Some of you that are watching it, I don't know why you are, but I'm trying to keep you informed as to what's going on. And part of that is telling you about the challenges for us to get materials to take care of this system. The supply chain issues are real. So we have that facing us, and we tackle that, and we've stayed in pretty good shape, I believe, because Steve just alluded to not having to move rates. I think that we're going to hold pat for another year as well. And that's fantastic news. And so I'm going to touch on just real quickly, okay? And you didn't throw anything at me yet, so I'm going to proceed. There are other pressures that we're facing, okay? I told you that we don't generate electricity, but we purchase it. But what's available on the U.S. grid to take care of you all and your farms, your homes, your businesses, and the things that you try to pursue? Electricity powers the American dream in so many ways. And so many of you know that. And so what's happening is that we're seeing a shift into a carbon-free environment. And I love carbon-free. Everybody up here loves carbon-free. But at the same time, we're tasked with the task of making sure that that's responsible, it's attainable, and it's not just something that we want to show out or throw out as conjecture. Politicians and myself, and we had some here, and they're necessary. But where I get kind of conflicted is, they can make a great idea and they can have a notion that's wonderful and it's romantic and it's compelling, and not worry about the consequences of whether or not it's attainable or not. And then those mandates get set, and then if we don't get to those mandates by the set amount of time, who are the bad guys? Well, Ozark Electric and Patrick Oschlager. We didn't get there for some reason, somehow. And so I want to talk to you and tell you about the rising concern for attacking carbon and decommissioning some of the things that are very, very, very important to us. Associated, who takes care of our power, they've taken a very bold stance as to trying to tell some of the folks that are moving us into a carbon-free environment, honestly too rapidly, that we need to slow down a little bit. If you decommission some of the things that we have that can provide power for our members too quickly, and we go to intermittent type of energy supply, and that's wind and that's solar, and I think that there is a future where that becomes a bigger player in what we do. But when you decommission coal prematurely, and then you rely on other things, we don't have to look too far through Winter Storm Uri and how it fell like an anvil on the state of Texas and how ERCOT suffered to try and have those things available to take care of their membership, and it wasn't available. Right now, there's nothing that can replace a pile of coal that's low NOx and low SOx that we get out of the United States ourselves, and telling a guy with a shovel to go get a scoop of it and put it in that furnace, and let's make some electricity for somebody that's out on Farm Road 1120 in Lawrence County and make sure that their meter can spin. And so part of what's happening and unfolding in front of us is this: where's the balance? So we're trying to figure out, okay, where's the balance? We have a lot of solar, residential solar on our system. We hold the honor, dubious or not, esteemed or not, of having the most solar, residential solar connections of any cooperative in Missouri. So we're progressively getting there, and we're assisting folks on how to embrace or understand the payback on that, some of the challenges and setbacks that come with that, because it's not the silver bullet. We haven't found it yet. And so that's really what occupies a lot of my mind on your behalf, is taking a look at the landscape across the United States and seeing what kind of energy is available, what's available that's affordable that I can get for our membership, those of you sitting in this room, that I'm looking out for, because I do take it that way. When you pay your bills and it slides across the table, this group and I look at it, how can we go out and parlay this investment in what they paid for in finding affordable, reliable, and safe energy to get back to their homes? And I can promise you that is what is in front of us all the time. Now, I know that there's other things that we've got to consider in doing and running the business of the co-op for you. But I'm telling you right now, our eye is on the prize at making sure, I think, when I talk to you, and when I run into you, and when we give you opportunities to talk to us and our staff and visit with us online or through our social media, you tell us overwhelmingly that you want affordable, reliable, and safe electricity in Southwest Missouri and Ozark Electric. And so I promise to you that is what we will continue to do until you tell us different. You've elected us, you've hired us, and you've given us a mandate to try to do that for you. Now, if we can do that, moving in a path that embraces some of the renewables into that portfolio, that's what I think wins for all of us, okay? So as you leave today, know that you're part of a team that is an incredible team within the state of Missouri. Know that the folks that you're electing to represent you do a genuinely good job every month representing you and looking out for you in how they make the decisions that direct what I try to execute on a daily basis. I love being the general manager of Ozark Electric Cooperative. I really do. It's been an incredible career for me, and I love the people that I work with. It is a pleasure. I love representing you all. I had a great time today getting here, and you guys been in my ear, telling me your stories. Did a lot of laughing. Some of you are incredible storytellers. I picked up some good tips. And so just know that this doesn't happen in every organization. This isn't an Enron. This isn't corporate America. This is a rural electric cooperative that is representing the people that are at the end of the line. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Were you just getting ready to shut him down?
Yeah, she was reaching.
I thought I saw her. I also saw your hand come out of your pocket right after you said that. Got it right back up there. All right. Next going to be Sean with the election of directors. But before you do that, we are saying goodbye to one of our directors today. So I just want to tell Gary how much we appreciate you and Francis. Thank you, guys.
I don't have a speech. I do have the election results, though. David Trogdon and Steve Stone both ran unopposed, so they have been elected to a 3-year term. In District 2, which was Gary's district, Darren Bowles and Gerald Eggerman were candidates. Darren Bowles received 375 votes, Gerald Eggerman 153, so Darren Bowles has been elected to a 3-year term. Do you want me to do the unfinished and adjournment? Okay. We're now down to unfinished business. I don't know of any unfinished business. I'm not seeing anyone telling me there is. Is there any new business? Seeing none and without objection, we will be adjourned. Thank you all.